What is up, everybody, and welcome back to 2xTheGrind. We're on episode 18. It is good to see you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Are you happy now?
I am, but we don't see them.
Huh?
You said it's good to see you, like we don't see them. So it's something I think we should work on there.
He is roasting me day in, day out.
It's not a roast. You just said no.
Yeah.
No.
He's roasting me.
Roast. It's
We're witnessing a breakup.
A breakup. I'll stop. No, but I don't. I'm just saying. Some people have been calling you out on it, not me. I'm trying to help you.
No, they haven't.
I've seen it.
No, they haven't.
I remove it.
Like who? No, you don't remove it. You don't remove any.
I don't
of
want
the
you to see it.
Guys, sorry about this weird start of the episode. Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us.
There you go.
It's good to think that we're seeing you. Is that better? Anyway, hope you're all having a wonderful Wednesday, whatever you're up to today. But thanks so much for squeezing us in to your plans. We appreciate it.
You don't learn.
What?
You said when?
Who is the broadcaster here? Okay, zip it.
You said
No
thanks
more.
for joining us on this Wednesday.
I'm talking to
what
my
if
people.
it's Thursday or Friday or Saturday?
Because if they're
What
not
if
watching
they
on a Wednesday,
couldn't?
who are they?
You're fake. No, I'm just giving you a hard time. All right.
He thinks it's so funny. He really does.
I think
Anyway.
they think it's funny too.
Oh my
Be
God.
careful.
The bass. Would you like to take this one? Brazil.
No.
Oh. Anyway, we have a coffee here.
You're gonna ask that every week.
I know.
Every week the answer is gonna be the same.
Cafe Bustelo. It's a Brazilian coffee. The packaging is very Brazil-esque. It's very beautiful. Absolutely love that. It's like tiles and it has like carrots.
It's really nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really, really cool. But yes, this is a Brazilian blend. You know,
It's pretty common.
classic. So I actually do have the translation here. This dark roast coffee from the farms of Brazil will indulge your curiosity with rich flavor and hints of cocoa. It's been specially roasted and finely ground to ensure a delicious full-bodied coffee that stands out with or without cream and sugar. Prepare using your preferred method. So yeah, very, very classic. Has a little bit of cocoa in it apparently.
I can taste it.
You taking a sip?
Yeah, I could taste it. Have a little sip. Tell me what you think. I've had this before, but I haven't actually had it in a long time.
Is this a dark roast? It is?
Yeah, it's a dark roast.
Yeah.
It's a dark roast.
I can
really
tell.
like it. And I actually can taste the...
It is very rich, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah, me too.
That does taste a bit like cocoa,
Mhm.
doesn't it?
Yeah, you can taste it. You don't have to do pinky. You don't have to do pinky up when you sip, huh?
Oh no, I do usually. It depends how I'm
Yeah.
holding it. This is like a dinosaur grip, like
Yeah.
T-Rex grip.
Don't want to drop it, kind of
Yeah.
grip.
But if I was to do that,
You would do that.
it's like
I see.
I can't control the
Yeah,
pinky
because I always
finger.
noticed that about you. You actually always.
And when I sometimes sip water like this, and I hate that. I hate
Why?
that
It's
about
classy.
myself.
There's nothing
It's
wrong
not.
with
It
it.
looks stupid, but it's nothing to do with like the class of it.
It's stupid. Because you're sipping a drink of water.
Like that is just outrageous. Like what is that?
What'd you do with the
But
coffee
it's
just
my
poured out?
bones. It's my bone. I can't. It's like this doesn't want to bend.
Really?
Yeah, like when I'm drinking something, it like wants to. It's very happy to see.
It's
see me
excited to get the drink. Huh?
It's very happy. So folks, so we're going to be tasting this throughout the. Oh, you know the drill. They know the drill, but any new viewers, we're tasting this coffee throughout the episode and we'll be rating it at the end to let you know, and all of the links will be in the description below, which will be fantastic. Anyway, should we get on to our topics?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, we've got a couple of topics to discuss today. We've got a bit of drama. We've got a
Yeah.
little bit of, I wouldn't say moaning, but we have a little bit of chatting, being real to do, being frank.
Yeah,
right?
which I'm
Being
excited
frank.
for because I
Yeah.
love the esports side of stuff, but I like
Yeah.
when we can dive into some real topics.
Real talk.
Real talk.
Real talk.
Real talk.
Real talk. That's pretty good, isn't it? American
You know
accent.
the wait, do it again?
Real talk.
That's pretty good. You know, like the intense announcer voice with Lottie and PJ, sound like
Real
that.
talk.
We gotta
With
get, like,
Lottie and PJ.
Get a segment like that.
Yeah, we do. Do you want me to do my voice, my ad voice?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, switch it up on the people.
USA. How do I do it? 2xTheGrind. The best coffee podcast out there right now. Wednesdays, 7 a.m. You don't want to miss it. Just made that up.
Yeah, I know. That was great.
I should do our own billboards. Anyway.
Can I book you for, what's it called, a VO?
Yeah, a VO. Yeah, it's going to cost you though. Pretty pennies. It's also coin. Anyway,
is it bad? That's
that's
the first thing that popped into my mind when you said pretty pennies.
No.
Because we watched The Witcher again. Basically,
We're very excited.
more progress. Not that we can show you. We have the projector screen up.
Yeah.
Shout out
it's
AJ.
Fabulous.
Shout out AJ.
Helping us put it out because
our brother-in-law for helping us put it up, and it is sick. The first thing we finished watching The Witcher, which we will watch for a third time before the season actually comes out.
December 17th coming out. Yep. I watched on WitcherCon. I am if you don't know me,
loves The Witcher.
Then that's fair enough. But if you do know me, you know I absolutely adore The Witcher. I adore everything about it. The game, it's like my first love. I'm currently reading the first book, and the Netflix series, I was actually weirdly, when it first ever came out, a little bit like apprehensive about it.
I remember
especially
that.
after playing the games. But loved it because it's an interpretation. It's not exactly the same. So it was like new content for me. So I loved that.
I loved it, but I only ever knew The Witcher from what you would tell me.
Yeah.
Like from the game. But I loved it.
It's so good,
really
isn't
cool.
it? It's really
Watching
good.
it back a second time,
It's
you
like,
notice a lot more stuff.
Oh gosh, yeah. Would highly recommend rewatching it again because.
Your water?
Oh yeah, was I saying my coffee?
No. I'm dying.
Now he understands what I mean by the dry throat that you can get with coffees that are dark roasts. Because he was telling me he doesn't know what I mean, and now, there you go. You know exactly what I mean.
No, I don't.
What? You're coughing your lungs out.
This is unrelated.
It's completely related.
It's unrelated to the
Excuse
coffee.
me, where's my water gone?
You don't need it.
That's why I brought it
if you
down
need
here.
it, I'll give it to you.
Anyway, right.
What are we talking about today, LV Pizzle?
We're talking about the first week of Stage 5, Call of Duty League. Technically it is the home stretch before Champs. This is the final stage before Champs. We have obviously a major in between that, which is a big deal, but really that major is going to be almost like a practice for Champs. It's obviously important.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's really going to be a very good indication of how Champs could potentially play out.
Yes. There is a definite possibility it would be looking a little similar, but you never know. But yeah, we're going to talk about that
especially
a little bit.
now with how close all the teams are.
I'm going to cover a little bit of the Halo 2v2 that your boy played in.
Boo!
It was a little bit of a nightmare.
It's frustrating, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
it's all good.
And then we're also going to talk about a little bit of content that broke the internet recently with CLG, just because it kind of hits close to home, especially for PJ, with stuff like that happening, and it's interesting to get your interpretation as a player on that and that situation. But we're going to start with the classic that we start with every week, which is CDL. So
Call of Duty League.
Obviously, I think one of the bigger points.
You didn't even react to how good that was.
Well, just know that I didn't react because it was so good.
You didn't think anything of it. It's what you expect.
Yeah. Is that a fair enough answer?
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Ew. Then you know it was bad.
I wonder if the mic could pick that up. She just did that face.
I think it might have.
Ew. No, but you know what? It's because you're used to my perfect announcing voice.
Definitely.
Because I do randomly just start announcing, don't
I? What do you mean?
Like, I just randomly get into, like, a mode where I just start doing, like, that, that voice I just did?
Oh, yeah, you
like,
do.
Don't I just randomly start doing that sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes you do. Yeah, you do. The voice of God. The voice of Snakebite.
The voice of God?
Yeah, that's what they call it. Announcing voices. The
What,
voice
really?
of God.
I don't sound like Morgan Freeman.
They're called voices of God in show business.
Morgan Freeman is the definition of the voice of God.
He is.
Is it not?
I am God. Nope, we're not going to go there. I can't do it. There's no way.
That's terrible.
And that's the reaction I didn't give you with your announcing voice.
It just wasn't deep enough. I get where you're going with it.
We are on the biggest tangent I've ever seen. Let's get to it.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Okay.
Stop distracting.
I'm going to murder this guy before this podcast is over. LA Thieves. Let's talk about them first because they definitely are a standout
new look
to discuss. Very much new look. John's come on board. Black Ops I'm pretty sure it was Black Ops 3 that he made a run with Slasher and JCap and got all the way to champs, won champs, fantastic squad, then went on IW, had a terrible season, made it eventually at the end of their season, started going on the come up, got to the final, lost to, was it OpTic?
Yep.
Yeah,
in
the
2
final.
best of 5s.
Sucks. But you know what?
It sucks, but like...
But
the fact they're even in the finals, like, Jesus
exactly.
Christ.
But what I'm trying to get at by all of this weird history knowledge that I'm spewing right now is the fact that he's back with familiar faces on a team. He's looking pretty damn good. The rest of the team are doing pretty damn good as well. And it's kind of exciting, I think, for Thieves, because out of, I'm pretty sure it's like 9 roster moves.
Yeah.
Out of the 9 or something roster moves that they've had, this definitely by far is the best one. And I think more so than anything, it's just a little frustrating because it's taken so long to get to that point. And
took it all the way to the last major.
Some of it's inevitable, some of it is inevitable. But I mean, it's just frustrating that kind of wasn't come up with a little bit sooner. But hey, we're there now.
Nate had no way of knowing he could misspell his name,
Quila. Anyway, what did you make of John and his
I thought he played great. I was really impressed. I'll be very guilty and honest on the podcast of I don't watch any challenger stuff, really.
No, I don't have time either. I do not have time. I keep up with it in terms of I look at the scores and I look at stuff like that. But
I don't. Like, I just, other than like the Twitter fingers, I have no idea.
I've got to say as well, if someone's coming from somewhere, and you can attest this, I do my damn research.
No, yeah. If they're in the league, you get the whole backstory of how their season's been going. But like, I haven't watched John play the game yet, so this is my first impression of getting to see him play. He looks like he's back in form, which is pretty crazy because he hasn't played professional Call of Duty in 2 years, I think.
Yeah.
Coming on to, like, this is the second year.
He was great in the respawns. I think he was actually great in S&D too.
He's just a great player. And I mean, like, an MVP at Champs with the dub tells you that, So
he had some serious ice and some serious patience with S&D, which I think was actually lacking in the LA Thieves camp.
Yeah, S&D.
And
he
looked
wins.
really good.
Yeah.
Like, the decisions he was making,
I think for him,
it's
just going to be if he can come back to full form at if he could peak at the right time, because he looked damn good. His screen was looking great, but I'm sure there's probably a little bit comfortability that he's got to get used to.
Yeah, and
he landed on to what you said. He landed on a good spot.
He landed on a good spot. I would say, there's definitely some teething things for the team in general. It's not picture perfect, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's very good, and I would say, like, they'll get picked apart by other teams just based on their performance against New York, because obviously they went quite close with New York. And New York they're down bad.
Yeah, I wonder what the reasoning is for that.
We can discuss that in a second. But yeah, they're down bad. So LA Thieves definitely need to clean it up a bit if they want to come against, like, Dallas. They want to come against, like, I would say FaZe, but let's be honest, right now FaZe are a little bit of a cut above the rest. But Ultra, Dallas, like, if they want to start competing, OpTic.
I think if you can compete with one of them, you can compete with all of them. Closing it out is a whole different thing.
I just don't think New York are up there in that band right now of OpTic.
No. But that's what I agree with you saying Dallas and Toronto.
Then FaZe is just
but with you saying Dallas and Toronto, that's what I mean. Like, if you can compete with Dallas and Toronto, you can then hang with FaZe. But it's a little bit harder. It's like it's that next that next little push that you need. But they did really good. 2-0. I mean, shit. When's the last time they had that? Probably long. I mean, who knows, right?
Consistently as well. And I just feel like they just feel the difference of the feel of the team.
Yeah, vibing.
Yeah, that's what they say. Kenny
said
players
say that all the time.
Kenny
it's so funny to me. Yeah, we're just vibing over here.
Every single interview I've had with him, any week. Like, it's all about the vibes.
We're just vibing.
Do you know how many interviews I've ended? Well, there you go. We've heard from Kenny. They're vibing. Yeah. And if they're vibing, we're smiling. That's great. Like, but it's
like the new good too.
Being serious about that, like, that is fantastic, because you don't want a team of people that you hate and the vibe is off and 100%. Things aren't working out, and that's fair enough.
Players go through their phases of vocabulary with interviews. From 2016 to 2018, it was the word grind. Like, we're on our grind, And then now it's vibing.
Mate, vibe check.
Vibe check. Vibes.
No cap.
Well, they don't say that in interviews, but I'm saying, like, you know what I mean? Like,
our producer Rick says that.
No cap?
No cap. It's amazing.
I hope I can go to Champs so that I can meet everybody.
He does like a baseball thing with like kids.
Yeah.
And
That's so cool.
he'll take what he's learned from us in the green room and he'll bring that to like the kids at baseball, and they think he's the coolest dude ever. He'll be in the car.
He's got all the
And we
lingo.
would have like sent him like new music, like some rap, some like new music, like the boys would have sent him it, and he'll put it on in the car.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, "Oh my god, Coach Angela, you're so cool."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, I know. No
He's
cap."
the cool dad. He said no cap.
Yeah. He's amazing. Shout out to, I don't think any of them watch, but shout out to production team. I love, they're like my family.
I'm looking forward to meeting them.
Like
I've already met some of them. You know, my boy Smitty, Peter.
Smitty, T-Man.
Yeah. I've already met a lot of them. It's been a long time since I've seen a lot of them. So, you know, with Champs we'll see. But
they're amazing. Our production team for Call of Duty League, honestly, are just incredible people.
That's cool, though. I hope I'm like a cool dad.
You would be a cool dad.
No, like I'm hip though. You know what I mean? Not like cool. Like I'll be a good dad. Like I hope I'm like. Hold
on. You went full dad mode.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
The fact that you just said the word hip.
No, but that's what I'm doing it to show context. Cause it's not like a cool. Like I'll be a cool dad, but I mean he's got like he's got.
Whoa.
I'm confident. I know I'll be a cool dad.
Vibe check.
But like you know he's got like the new music. I don't have the new music right now.
He's got the new music hookups though.
Exactly. So like I need to like up my game.
You will be fine.
Because I don't got the new music now. You know? Like I'm still listening to the same thing from like
the gym playlist.
Yeah, like I got the gym playlist. I haven't changed.
Though. I know. That's because we don't go in the car and have long car journeys. We don't know new music.
That's true.
So
we do put new music. What am I talking about? I do add some new music in there.
Yeah, we do add new music. I mean, it's just
some of it though. I don't.
Like, let's be honest. The world came to a standstill.
Yeah.
So did our music choices. So
anyway,
it is what it is.
Back to Call of Duty. So LA Thieves.
This episode is Tangent City, isn't it?
It's okay. They'll get through it. They'll love it. Don't worry.
You will love it. You will love it. No cap. Now,
who sounded old there now? That you sounded old there.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm hip. God's sake. Okay, so
impressive by LA Thieves.
Yeah. So moving on from that, obviously a team that they went toe to toe with, but eventually did actually beat was New York. Mm-hmm. Now I'm actually so gutted about this.
Yeah.
Because I love New York. Like I was rooting for them. Like I was so excited that they kind of had struggles all season to get a rhythm. And suddenly they were like, oh, crap, they're good.
Yeah, they're close to winning a final.
They were good. Yeah. And I was like, oh, my goodness, this is crazy. So I was rooting for them because I think it's just fun.
They also have a little bit of a hometown feel for us.
Yeah, because I say that on broadcast as well. But, you know, what is sad about it is they had a really, really shitty situation before Major 4.
Yeah.
Brought in a pickup Decimate because they had no choice, literally. Did not great. Like it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great.
Could have been worse.
In your mind, if you're on that team, it was terrible because you're like they wanted to win it.
Yeah, they expect to win it, but the second they have a sub, the fact that they didn't go in and get last is like they did okay.
Yeah, of course,
you know,
of course. But like I think a lot of people kind of expected ASIM to get back on the team and then to bounce back.
Do you think they just like lost momentum, kind of? You know?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they had 2 delays. Or whatever as well, like, you know, issues with the game or whatever the case may be. We don't got to talk about it too much, but you know, there's something holding back, I guess, both their series, I think. And you know, Clay took to Twitter and kind of was frustrated with that, obviously. So I don't know. I wonder how much of it's like the ASIM thing of like maybe they just gotta kind of catch their rhythm again, or maybe was it the delay kind of like it's just kind of piling on to them of feeling a little bit like
I don't know.
But I don't think the delay would make you play bad though.
No, it's not just the delay. I'm sure it's like a factor. Like I did send broadcast like, oh my god, these guys can't catch a break.
Yeah.
However, and yes, that does affect players.
Bad vibes,
sure.
you know.
Bad vibes, man. Vibe check, not there. It's just not there. But
I just thought, you know what I just thought of?
What?
You know the meme that I sent you on like Instagram of like the dogs, You know, it's like,
oh,
like no, like there was like check out his vibe.
Check out his vibe. What's this?
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Ooh,
Anyway,
bad vibe.
Yeah,
bad vibe.
bad vibe. You know what I'm talking about. That's like what COD players are doing.
Immediately, I went, oh,
yeah.
you didn't even recognize
No,
it. Oh my god, I'm doing impressions here. That's so good.
That was really good.
Thanks so much.
So, do you think it is a lot to do with that? Careful with that mug. I see it just rattling around, ready to go.
I'm like, I hope some OG people will get this reference, but like every time we have a podcast with this coffee, I feel like I'm the butler from Lara Croft with the tray, the shaking tray. You've never seen The Butler?
No.
Have you ever played Lara Croft?
No.
Oh. Ooh, bad vibes. Yeah, anyway, for all the references, that is what I'm like, the shaking butler. Anyway,
do you think they'll get back on track?
I think they're an extremely talented roster. I think they have to get back on track this week. I think if they don't get back on track this week and start working on stuff, I think I'm going to say no, they're not going to stand a chance at competing for a ring. And let's be honest, for New York, Ultra, Dallas, FaZe, OpTic, and LA Thieves, really, they want a ring. All of those teams are 100% gunning for a ring. Mutineers, Rocker, I think they
Mutineers is like my sleeper pick.
Yeah. They want the ring, obviously, but I think they know that it's quite difficult to get there at the moment, just because of how things kind of start to settle towards the end of the season. But New York were really right up there, and they're still doing okay in terms of CDL points. They just have to find their footing again. It was like they, at the end of Major 4, that they like took 2 steps back with that situation. But the problem is with our competition, our league, it's so competitive that everyone else, they might have paused or taken 1 step back. Everyone took 4 forward. So they're struggling now because they're behind.
I think the good thing is they got time. Like before champs. No, they did. Like,
couple weeks.
Yeah, they got a couple weeks of matches, right? Then they got a LAN. And then you got champs. They got enough. I'm not saying they're going to be ready for the major. I think they have enough time to get ready for champs. Because if there's a guy who I think can get you back on the right track, it's Clayster.
I agree. And unless Clay's vibe check is not vibing. You know what I mean? Because I think Clay's an exceptional player, an exceptional leader, an exceptional vibe on a team. Yeah. You know what he's like. He pops off, right? And it makes your team feel good. Like, you can kind of see that. But I think if Clay's not feeling it and he's frustrated, I think that could feed into also how the team are doing. Because he's quite a big personality on the team. People look up to him, you know? Yeah. Like, every time I interview anyone from NYSL that isn't him, it's always about him. It's like how amazing he is, like what he's doing.
He's the leader.
And he's incredible.
He's the leader, which is why it's interesting with the delays.
Yeah, like, and what he's saying on his social media. Do you think that's going to play a big role into like how they bounce back?
Yeah, I think they need to just not worry about the stuff they can't control. And not that they necessarily do. Like, I get it, you know. Like, I don't think that they necessarily do worry about it. But, you know, now it's like you got the tournament coming up, and then you got the big one coming up. So now it's like get back on the right footing.
Yeah.
LA Thieves, they came out slow against LA Thieves, and then they brought it back and lost. But then against OpTic, they looked, they just kind of lost. They got 3-0, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not like too worried about it. Like, I still think at a LAN event, like I'd put NYSL over OpTic, right now. But
would you right now?
Yeah.
It was
one bad week. You know what I mean?
But listen.
We'll have to wait and see. But at some point you got to give people a little bit of a benefit of the doubt with it.
Okay, let's bring this into conversation then.
If they lose a bunch more matches going into it, then I probably wouldn't pick them.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, like, one bad week where you lose a game 5 to LA Thieves, and then you have a bad series against OpTic and you lose. I'm not gonna immediately be like, oh yeah, you're not a top 4 team anymore.
Okay, OpTic played New York, right? Like we just said, and Paris, 3-0'd both of them. Were you impressed, or was that something that you're just like,
No, I think it goes both ways. I was impressed because you came out, and the Paris thing I'm not really impressed with. I'll be 100%.
Okay.
No offense to them, but good. But still good. You beat the team you're supposed to beat, which OpTic tends to do. But
so sad. just sucks.
It is what it is right now. You know,
yeah,
that's how it's going to be for anything, for any competition. When you got top, you know, it's top guys versus.
I feel for my teams. They're all my teams.
All your teams, all 12.
Yeah. I cry for every match and every win.
Beating NYSL is a big step in the right direction, but now is where we got to wait and see of how much of it is OpTic playing great to NYSL playing poorly, you know? And then now is where we kind of, over the next couple of weeks, you'll get the feel of that. You'll get the feel of, is OGD coming to play this major, and this could be where they tie it all together, or did NYSL just have a terrible week and, you know, they went down 1-0 and, you know, they lose a hard point, and then there's this delay, and they're just kind of like, oh my god, and you know, bad vibes, right? And then they get smoked. They get smoked. Where in OpTic's case, they go up 1-0, and you just beat a team who's like unbeatable in hard point, and you're like chilling. You're at the hex quarters, just kind of like chilling out, like you're all hanging out. You know, it's like you still want to play, but I remember like Scump. There was literally a video that came out, and Scump literally was like, "We're up 1-0. I'm chilling." Like, you know, like because they did like an update thing, and I think that kind of like sums it up, you know. But we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. It was impressive. Like it's impressive. Anytime you beat a top team, it's impressive.
Yeah, I agree.
But you got to do it week in, week out. You got to be able to do it. And I think OpTic's been able to do it. They just haven't closed it out consistently. They beat. It's so you know, funny. Go back to the first major. They beat NYSL.
Yeah,
but then loser bracket, they got smoked by NYSL.
It's strange because like with OpTic, I don't know if anyone else feels this way, and I don't know if you feel this way, but like there's so much respect and experience on that team that I have, and I think everybody else has because of like their experience and what they've accomplished as players. That like sometimes like what?
Continue.
Oh dear. Anyway, sometimes I like, even if they're doing bad, I look at them and I'm just like, I almost don't even consider you as bad.
No,
because
well, yeah.
like I expect you to do well. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the reason I'm shaking my head is because one, to what you're saying, I agree. Because we talked about this on the last podcast. They're so good that like when they're doing bad and they're getting like 6th or whatever, they could still be getting like 2nd. You know, like they're that good. You know, but they're just not gonna. They're just not gonna win. But that's because they're so individually talented. To what you're saying, I don't feel that way because of how established they are. Because I don't think they're all that established anymore.
I don't think
you have two guys.
Like, you have two guys anymore. Like there's some of the most famous Call of Duty players in the world.
2 of them are.
Yeah, no, I know.
And then the other 2 really haven't.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
you know,
that's
like
what I'm
I don't
saying.
look at them. It's like, oh, you got so much experience and you've won so much that like, you know, even when you're doing bad, like you could still do good. I respect
like the name OpTic. Do you know what I mean? It
yeah,
brings
100%.
a lot of like pressure.
Yeah, 100%. But I'm just saying, like, from their standpoint, I agree with you. But it's not about the experience or what they've done in Call of Duty. It's just that I think they're 4 unbelievably individual talented people.
Yeah.
What they've done in the past is irrelevant, and 2 of them haven't done a whole lot. And I don't mean that as like a diss. It's just that they're young.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They're younger.
What was really nice is seeing Envoy really step up. Like the other week, him actually doing exactly what I think he's best at, especially with S&D. Like
talking about the major.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal.
Being literally, I know it's not a very nice word, but it is kind of what you want sometimes. Like being that rat, being that dirty player, being the flanker, but being annoying, and then also not getting caught every single round doing it. He was really good at readjusting.
Especially S&D carried them.
What he's doing, and his route man gets paid.
Yeah, and some of those S&D games, you know, he's carrying through.
And it was nice to see him do that. And I think if those boys can establish their roles, and not in terms of like what guns they're using, what guns they're carrying, like it's totally different. It's deeper than that. It's like every single time they go on the sticks, every single time they load up a map, whatever it is, they have a plan and they're executing it. Because I don't know if it was just the fact that they were just like walking into matches and they're like, let's just play our game, and they're not really planning it out. This competition is so competitive. I just don't think you can do that anymore. That you have to be thinking about your vetoes, you have to be expanding your map pool, because there are teams up there, FaZe, who can play anything and have been expanding that map pool for the past like 2 stages, 3 stages.
FaZe are literally like practicing in their stage, in their group stage.
Yeah. So it's funny because like when you get people who can like start, it's interesting because sometimes on broadcast I'm almost like being hypocritical as well, because I find myself thinking like, oh wow, they can compete with FaZe, that's really good. And then I go away and realize, but wait, FaZe literally just played a map they never play.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to expand them. And I'm like, oh. So it's like, it's a weird balance. But I agree. I just think preparation is key at this point as well, especially.
I think the way you're saying it's like, it's tough with the whole, OpTic is just such a big name where you expect them to do good. And the good thing for them is they still have the talent to be exceptional, But the interesting now with Call of Duty is there's a roster, two rosters basically through OpTic's Call of Duty history that was like a winning roster, and it was like a dynasty, and you were so used to seeing them win. And now people are still like have that expectation of like those wins. But the reality of it is they got two guys who are younger and need to kind of develop into that. And not necessarily develop into like being winners, but like, there's always that hype of like wanting OpTic to win. And I want them to win. I do.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I think everybody wants everyone to like have a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Like no one likes
to
see anyone fail. Every event,
I think that they have a shot.
Yeah. I think just like moving it along slightly, but I just want to ask you a quick question. We don't have to stay on it for too long, but like Mutineers, so up and down this team, like so up and down. I just want to give a big shout out, and obviously this isn't a bias, but Neptune, like you can't be biased at this point. Oh my god,
it's
this
phenomenal.
kid, he is.
It's not biased at all.
I gotta say, even if Mutineers like really go downhill from here, his stock to me has gone up, has skyrocketed. He is so damn good. Kid.
It only went up with the LAN event. He did phenomenal.
He is getting better every week. He is a game. Honestly, there have been points where in the green room we're discussing stuff between us, like us analysts and stuff on the desk, and I'm talking to Ant and Jay and Stud, and I'm like, look guys, like Neptune is so good. And I was like, but like he's not just good. Like I was like, if you have a look, he's keeping them in this game.
He's carrying. He's literally
keeping them in the games. Awakening's really quieted down a lot with his gameplay. It used to be very flashy. He'd put himself in situations that weren't the greatest, but he was so good at getting himself out of those situations and coming out on top that it was almost like, I think to an untrained eye, unnoticeable. But right now he's doing that, but not getting himself out of the situations. So it's kind of troublesome.
Yeah, if you look at the major, Neptune had one of the best KDs in the whole major. Awakening Skies actually didn't do that bad.
He's the Shotzi of Mutineers.
Yeah, basically. He's the SMG, and he does the same thing. Awakening and Skies didn't do that bad. They were actually pretty decent KDs. Havoc had a really bad tournament. 42nd out of 51st. It's bound to happen to someone, and when I don't think they placed particularly amazing.
No.
6th maybe, right? You don't even got to check it. We don't got to go super in depth. It's something like that. I think they won like one series. Someone's gonna do it. You know what I mean? I imagine it was like, Paris had the worst, and then I don't know, whatever. But his stock has only gone up. To your credit, he's gone better. It's not biased. It's not biased at all. Everybody knows it. Everybody sees it. And to be honest, you should have seen him coming a mile away. And that's why Ogre 2, that's why Ogre 2 is so good with what he's doing over there, because Ogre 2, keeps finding ways to keep this team somewhat in it, and like last year they got wins when you wouldn't expect them to get wins. And then this year, it's been a little bit of a rough year, obviously, but they're still, I wouldn't count them out. Like you go back to the first major, it's like, they're one game away from being NYSL and being top 3. You go back to it's just been those unfortunate situations that they haven't, but they're a young squad.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've got to say as well, like Shotzi is definitely on MVP form at the moment.
Yeah. If they can keep figuring out their stuff over at Dallas, and Shotzi could play the way he played, I could see them winning. I still think, we don't have to like dive into it because we talked about it last time, but I still think FaZe would be the favorites, obviously. But if like Shotzi plays the way he played last major, and they keep getting better on Dallas, then it's like, I think it's up for grabs. I
gotta say, Dallas are just the creepers. You know what I mean? They creep on up.
Yeah.
When you're least expecting it, and suddenly at the end of the season, they're like, wham bam, have that.
Mm-hmm.
And like, they're so good.
Yeah.
And it's kind of what happened last season as well. So FaZe have got to watch out for them for sure. Because
Dallas got better and better
as
the time went on last year. Now you're kind of getting the same feel. The only issue with Dallas is that if it potentially happened too late because of the Hugh drama and then the fellow situation of picking him up and obviously it not working out and
them getting super close in Major 4 is definitely telling. Going to that all the way to that last game.
I don't think that they're too far behind by any means, but like, you know, if they would have got Vivid right away, for example, that could be the difference maker between winning champs, losing champs.
I think right now it's difficult to even tell where they're at right now in stage 5 anyway, just because of the teams, and this is no disrespect, but the teams that Atlanta FaZe and Dallas have played. FaZe obviously played London, and then I think they played Paris, and then Dallas also played LAG. Literally the 3 teams you probably can't really see what you're doing with. So yeah, there's not really much of a scale.
You know, you still get the dub and look good doing it.
Well, I got told off by Krim in my interview for saying it was an epic win. Because he goes, that is not an epic win. It's terrible.
You did?
Yeah, Krim told me off.
This week?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
That was my tournament.
And then I said, okay, well, it might not be epic to you, but I said, but 3-0 sweep.
Yeah.
In the fashion that you did it and how quickly you did it is epic to me. And he goes, no. And I went, moving on.
Yeah. God, Krim is a funny
he's an
guy.
Actual, he is a character. But yeah, so he never fails to make me laugh. He always tells me off in my interviews. It's just fine.
He can't just go along with it.
Keep it real with me. It's fine.
He can't just go along with like the epic win.
But it's fine. Like, that's fine. He's a personality. He's being real with me. But I'll say it back. I thought it was epic.
He doesn't mean any harm by it.
Then started telling me about I know I asked him in the interview. Did you catch the interview at all?
No, I didn't, because I was in the tournament. I was playing ladder matches.
You guys at home know what happened. One of the questions I asked him was obviously like in the major. Hi, Krim. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Great. Looking good. What does what do you attribute that to? He said, he had his whole house rewired because his electrician that he brought in said that his house was built in 1920 something and that he hasn't seen wiring like this since the Korean War. And then he told me on air that it was very suspicious because the guy was only 30. So how has he seen the Korean War? He goes on this whole spiel about his wiring in his house. It was, and when I tell you, they couldn't see my face on camera. I was crying. I was gripping my mouth so tightly to like not laugh. I was dying. My production were laughing in my ear because of my reaction. I had tears streaming down my face. The thing he was saying was amazing. It's so funny.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that.
It was so funny.
So why does that?
What he was trying to tell me.
Like, what, did they get better practice?
15 minutes
because of it?
No, because he was trying to tell me that his internet was so bad that he was terrible then, but when he got to the major, he was great because he had great wiring.
Oh, okay.
And that now he's really good because all his wiring's sorted.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
Can't knock it,
He also
I
stood
guess.
up and did his.
Yeah.
For me as well, which was great. Yeah, I'll have to show you.
I mean,
upstairs.
who am I to go against him? You know, he knows what he's talking about.
Funny.
He knows what he's talking about.
I was crying. It was so funny.
So he feels like he's at a disadvantage online right now, is what he's saying.
Basically, what he was saying.
Interesting.
He told this whole story. I pieced it all together,
and
then he said.
Don't they play at the MV Studios?
I don't think he always does.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he always does. But he goes, take that of what you will. I was like, okay. It was brilliant though.
Yeah, that's a cool interview. I'm gonna have to go watch that.
It was actually really cool.
Yeah.
I was crying. So anyway, just wanted to bring some spotlights onto some players that have been pretty memorable recently.
Yeah, that's funny.
But I think what was the final? It was there one more thing I wanted to discuss with Card.
No,
I think that was it.
Yeah.
I think that was it. But really quite I would say an interesting start to stage 5. Nothing really too epic happening. Nothing really testing.
3-0s.
I think next week will be really interesting when some of the, obviously our two groups, some of the top dogs from the top of the group start colliding. Some of the top Cs of those groups start colliding and kind of testing one another. But a nice little kind of ease into this final stage for a lot of teams. A little bit of heartbreak for some of them, especially the lower bracket teams who are just not looking too peachy right now.
Don't feel bad for them.
No. I do.
Don't.
I do.
No, because there's like, we gotta move on from Call of Duty, obviously, because we don't want to.
We do
talk about it, but there's this like, and you can't really comment on this. I don't think
I probably can't.
You know, but
if
it's like they're like really like there's this like. I don't know. I saw this video going on about like Octane talking about letting every team to champs and stuff, and like I get it.
Okay, that's not what I'm going to talk about. Like, that's not why I'm sad for them.
Okay, then why are you sad for them?
I probably can't talk about it, to be honest, but I can probably talk to you about it later.
Okay.
But what I will say is, I think there's a couple of things amongst some of these teams that go on internally in different orgs, and the players can't do anything about it.
Okay.
So, like, I think more so on the lines of, I probably would say, potentially...
Like the business side of it.
Yeah. And I think that they don't get enough of a say as players occasionally to be able to adjust what they want to adjust.
I think you're saying it because of champs.
No.
You know, so fair enough.
No, but it just makes me sad. It makes me more so sad, not from that aspect, but it makes me more so sad just that, like, you know, it's been a long season. You know, these guys don't come in and just mess around. Like, they want to win. And it just sucks that, you know, it just, like, you can see the heartbreak on screen almost every single time.
Yeah, it's not fun.
For me.
I get it. I'm not trying to be, like, cold-hearted. I do understand.
Yeah, so
the champs thing makes me a little bit.
And, you know, I interview these guys regularly, and I build a rapport with some of them. And so I feel for them. It sucks, you know?
No, everyone wants to win. I feel it.
I just want everyone to win. Rings for everyone. I'll go to the dollar store. I'll get a few rings. Mail them out.
I don't know if they'd want those.
Little sticker on the top.
Dollar store ring.
No. They would. The ring's a ring at the end of the day. Yours are pretty nice, though.
Yeah, I was going to say that. That ain't a dollar store ring.
You know the meme? The ring he thinks she wants versus the ring she really wants.
Oh,
Do you remember?
Yeah.
I was like, I actually posted that to Twitter once.
Did you?
I did.
What's the next topic?
Next topic is Halo, darling. It's to do with you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to my podcast. No, so Halo TV2.
You know, there's Reddit leaks of and we don't have to talk about this. I always say this, but it's just like a little side note for people. There's a Reddit post going out that it's like a leak without being a leak that they're announcing flight test dates soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's been like a leak. But it's like, I said this in my stream. I'm like, it's a leak without being a leak. I mean, the leak is they're announcing dates.
Well, to be honest, that's probably
it's like not really a leak.
Really on time anyway. So I would have expected
exactly.
it.
But anyway,
cool.
that's exciting.
Yeah, that is really exciting. Something to look forward to.
Not much to
talk
about.
Good job with getting the bloody basement sorted out, and it's nearly pretty much
not much
finished.
to talk about it, but no. I'm literally like so like geared up for it for whenever it actually is, you know. So
Halo 2v2.
Yeah,
it was a little bit of a mess. Or a lot of it of a mess. So, I know he said to me before this, like, we're obviously going to discuss it, but he said he doesn't want to be too negative because obviously he's already had kind of his, you know, you've had your
I've had my
session.
I've had my time. I've made my tweets, deleted them.
Yeah, you and I don't think there was anything bad in your tweets. I don't think it was delete worthy, but obviously you were just like, you know, I'm done with this. Yeah, and that's fair enough.
No, yeah.
But it was a bit of a mess. Honestly, like, from my perspective, like, trust me, I love Halo to death. I do, and you do. I mean, we both do.
Yeah.
And obviously this wasn't anything to do with HCS at all.
No.
This is something completely separate. So when we're talking about this, we're not talking about HCS whatsoever.
It's like a fan. It's called like Xbox Fan Fest. Like, you know, it's like
but it was also promoted quite heavily. So you know, something.
It's $25,000.
Yeah.
You know, throughout the whole thing.
I've got to say, in all of my time being a broadcaster so far, which is quite a few years now, I've never seen a bigger mess in terms of like how something is run in all of my life. Because I was watching, I was reading, I was witnessing, I was seeing everything.
Yeah.
It was terrible. It was actually terrible.
Yeah. Well, the situation
I wanted to tweet out, but I was just like, I'm going to stay out of it.
You don't need to tweet.
No, I know, but I would like to say my piece on it. It was disorganized
very
chaos.
Unprofessional.
Very unprofessional. Disorganized chaos.
It just kind of sums up.
Untrustworthy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just going to nip out a few buzzwords here that I think are completely honest and true to it. Yeah. But very untrustworthy, disorganized, chaotic, and to be perfectly honest, it almost seemed like, I don't want to be too harsh here, but I'm just going to say, it seemed like the TO did not know what on earth was going on either. So that's a big problem.
They didn't, and I'll explain why.
So you go for it.
Okay, well, look, like, you know, the situation is what it is, right? Like, we're going back and forth to these games. Like, I'm not even mad. Like, we were, like, close to qualifying both days. You know, I was playing with World 2. We both don't play Halo 3 really at all.
You're doing it for a bit of fun.
Yeah, doing it for some fun, kill some time.
Challenge yourselves a little bit. Do something different.
You know, and overall we actually played really great, you know, I'd say. But the problem, like, you know, the reason why it's frustrating, and we've talked about this before, is like, I just want stuff done properly. And for how long I've been in esports, you know, I've been in esports for 14 years. It's a long time.
God, you're old.
I'm in esports age. I am very, very old, and I tell people this all the time, and they won't believe me. I'm old. Like, I've been doing this a really long time. So I've seen. It's
my turn this time.
I've seen some shit. Okay, and basically, like, with what's been happening with a lot of this stuff, you know, you go back to, like, the Face It stuff that happened with Halo 5, and, like, this stuff has nothing to do with HCS, so I don't want to, like, bring them into it, but just, like, you know, it just adds on, doesn't it? It just piles on and piles on and piles on. I said to you, I'm like, I don't feel like I do anything wrong. Like, why does this keep happening to me, of all people? Like, that's what it feels like. It feels like it keeps happening, like, to me, you know? With, like, some of these negative situations.
Really does.
With some of these negative situations, when it's like, when all I'm doing is, like, following the rules.
It doesn't just happen to you.
Yeah.
It happens to a lot of people, but they don't
do anything. Up. They don't do anything. They just kind of like,
Actually, a lot of people expect you to speak up.
Yeah.
So that's why it feels like it's a lot on you.
Yeah, it's true, which is part of it, too, is, like, you know, I'm almost expected to, like, correct everything, you know? So it's like it falls on me.
Because you're not afraid to say how it is.
Yeah, I know, but it just mentally takes a toll on you, obviously.
And also, I think to a lot of people, whether it be HCS, whether it be these ones, it seems like you're the bad guy. But it's like, but you're not.
Yeah.
It's like,
and that's
you're not, you wouldn't, I know you so well. Like, you are one of the nicest people I've ever met in my whole life. And I think a lot of people can attest to that.
Thank you.
Like, you're not just complaining to complain.
No, yeah.
You have no reason to complain. When you lose with absolute dignity. When you win, you are super humble.
Yeah.
When you're complaining, it's because there is something that's affecting not just you, but everyone else in a tournament or everyone else in this certain situation.
Yeah.
And you're the only one that speaks up, so therefore you almost look like the bad guy. But you're not just doing it to do it. You're doing it because there is an absolute damn right good reason for you to say that or speak up about it.
Yeah.
So I think that's important for people to understand as well.
And I mean, I appreciate everything you said. And I mean, I agree. Like, I don't say stuff just to say it. I'm not just like a complainer, but like, I told you this before and I've said it, you know, here. I just hate sounding like it, and I hate sounding negative, and you know what I mean? And, like, the problem is, and this is a big, like, industry problem, is, like, you try to get it done behind closed doors, but then, like, nothing really gets done. It's like, what did my chat say? I was asking what the saying is, like, the squeaky wheel gets the oil, or whatever, whatever that saying is, something like that. You know what I'm talking about? Have you heard that?
Yeah,
something like that.
Squeaky
I don't know. There's
wheel gets
you know what I'm talking about.
No, basically, like, if you don't say something, how is it going to be fixed?
Yeah, and most of the time, if you don't say it publicly, it doesn't get fixed because people just brush it under the rug. What happened with us is unfortunate. You know, look, we didn't deserve to. We deserved to qualify based on what we were told, but we didn't deserve to qualify. Like, we were super close to it, but not really. Like, you know, Matt and I, people are like dodging teams and shit and like whatever. And that sucks. They abuse the system. But I'm not even mad about it because that's the system, you know?
That was the system that was in place.
Yeah, that's the system that's in place. Matt and I really didn't. We're trying to, like, not match top teams repeatedly, but we'd still match other top teams, you know? So it is what it is. Obviously,
also, people who have had also qualified previously were also still playing.
Yeah, I mean, that's
another thing.
Yeah, so I mean, like, you know, you can go in on the format. Obviously, what happened with us was dumb, where we were told we're on our last match. We think we have to win it to qualify, and we were told we qualified. So they say, don't even waste time playing the match. And then we get told we didn't qualify. And then it's just a slap in the face of like, okay. Thanks.
And then they're like, oh, actually now as well.
And then they're tweeting,
oh, it would never have happened even if you got another game. And then you're just like, okay, but you need to understand, like,
you didn't
how
give me
frustrating
you didn't give me the chance to win,
no,
like, my last match to, like, prove to myself that I wouldn't have made it.
And then there's the whole thing with you know, you obviously discussed with your very close friends, APG, like what was happening, and he was telling you how he qualified, and it made no sense.
Yeah. Well, it did make sense in the end, but there's no clarity. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so the whole thing with APG qualifying was because
why didn't you join the Discord server?
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, don't get me, you know. So the whole thing, like, I can't stand, and this is where my big problem is with people, especially people I know, and we don't have to name drop at all.
No, we don't have to.
But like, if I know you, like I know you, don't go corporate on me, okay? Like, I know it's your job. I don't hate you. I get where you're coming from with it. But like, you know, if you tell me I qualify and I don't qualify, don't tweet me and be like, oh, you know, I'm sorry. Like, this is, you know, I'm sorry. It's an unfortunate circumstance and it didn't work out in your favor. It's literally what he said. It's an unfortunate, that's what someone said to me. It's an unfortunate circumstance and I'm sorry it didn't work out in your favor. And I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking? You know what I mean?
You're not bothered about not qualifying.
Yeah,
you're bothered about the way it was handled.
Exactly.
It was bad.
Exactly. And then, like, you know, they let APG's team in, which ends up making sense. And I clarified it in a tweet. I said that they placed 9th on Friday, right? So someone dropped out from Friday. So APG's team gets in. Makes complete sense. Yeah. So it's top 8
and
from
what
each
did
day.
You place?
Oh, I don't know, like top 12, I think, or something. Right. Like, you know, it's a point, it's a hidden point system. So we're close, but, you know, like we're on the bubble each day. We're close to it. And so anyway, so APG team makes it in, and it makes sense why he made it in, right? But they don't clarify. Like, there's no, like, there wasn't like a post anywhere or anything that explains the situation of what happened. And then, like, I'm sorry, like, I don't go to Discord to get like, I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, if you're running a public tournament, do I really need to go to the Discord to ask, a question? Like, as a professional rantio, right? You have your bracket, okay? A team drops out. You need to publicly make a statement. This team dropped out. This team gets in due to this. Yeah. But instead, I just read your bracket, and I'm like, what?
I understand.
You know what I mean?
I understand from your point, and I also like devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Like the only reason why I'm like, is because I've done quite a few Warzone things now, and I know that everything is done through Discord in terms of the ruling, in terms of like updates, in terms of like players getting clarification. Yeah. I see it because I'm.
But then I agree. Like, I agree. I get where you're coming from with it, because I'll even say, maybe that was the place to go to. But then, like, when Matt and I were trying to figure out how the point system worked, because we're going to play again. We didn't qualify Friday. We go to play on Saturday. We go to the Discord and ask how the point system works.
Correct,
and they couldn't tell us.
No, exactly.
So then in my mind, like, I'm not trying to be like...
Well, you were chatting to somebody who was trying to get... And they were giving you the wrong information.
Yeah, well,
so,
and that's what I'm saying. The guy... Well, I mean, every chat system I used, I received wrong information. And even, like, with the Discord stuff, like, because I was talking to one of the admins on Discord, and, like... You know, it's just like a slap in the face with the comments you get of like, sorry it didn't work out. Oh, no, well, we don't DQ people. Like, you know, with the situation of what happened with our last match. So I'm like, well, this doesn't do anything for me. But then, like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
I get the Discord thing. Like, I don't disagree on that. Like, maybe that's the place to go. I don't know. But
do you think in hindsight you should have kept it off, like, public Twitter and maybe just, like, DM people?
No, so I think like this is why I deleted everything up until my original tweet, because my original tweet was fucked up. We were told we qualified and then we don't qualify. That's fucked up. You can't do anything about that.
What's your language on
this
podcast?
I'm sorry. Like, you can bleep it out, but it's true.
I ain't got time for that.
Sorry. I won't say it. But no, but it's messed up. That was messed up. Everything else, I can agree. Should have gone to the Discord and asked questions or whatever. But they don't, like, I'll be honest, they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it infuriates me, because fast forward to Sunday, just to prove my point of how they don't know what they're doing, like for this whole thing, fast forward to Sunday, 8 teams disqualify themselves to get an easier bracket. You know how long we've been doing this?
Yeah.
You didn't see this coming?
Yeah.
The teams that qualified on Sunday weren't going to get the 1 through 4 seeds. On the finale, I think they're going to change it, but on the finale, they were going to play each other. So, hey, congratulations. You're the best team. You qualified week 1. You were rewarded with playing the same team. Doesn't make sense, does it?
No.
No. Why is it? Or how is this rocket science?
Because apparently it is.
Yeah, and it is what it is. But so the whole thing just adds up. Like I said, the whole thing adds up.
It's infuriating.
I tweeted the initial thing because I was annoyed with the mod, and I still am. I still think it was unbelievably unprofessional. We were told we qualified by your mod, and I'm sorry, in a situation when you're dealing with money, saying, "Oh, sorry," it doesn't cut it. No. You're talking about money. Like, and you're talking about money and people's livings. And luckily for me and for Matt, and I said this to the guy, I said, you're lucky that for Matt and I, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to like boast here, but like, we don't really care. We're like, okay, like whatever. Like, we don't care enough to be like unbelievably outraged and call the head of Microsoft to get this sorted. Because in reality, when you're dealing with money and prize pools, that's what you actually could do. Mm-hmm. But we didn't need, we're like, oh, just chalk it up, whatever. And that's what it is. But I'm excited for Infinite because I think a lot of this stuff will be resolved.
Yeah.
Because
there's a team for Infinite that are definitely going to be running it with some incredibly strong heads on their shoulders.
Yeah.
So.
And I appreciate what they're doing now. Like, I appreciate the tournament that they're running now and everything.
I just think it's easy fixes though.
It is, and that's what, it's easy fixes, and that's what frustrates me. Because it makes us look, I care so much about this stuff, and not just like for me. I don't care about me. Like I'm until all this stuff until Infinite. Like, if I get some extra money in it, like great. If I don't, like luckily Sen's got us, and like where they don't care because they know that we're going for Infinite. But it's like, it just is such a bad look. They hosted a Sunday broadcast, like to qualify for the finale. You got teams disqualifying themselves.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's a bad look. Like, it's not. Is just.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, dude. And it's like, it's the most obvious freaking thing on what was going to happen.
I know. Well, hopefully they can learn by that. Yeah. That's just embarrassing.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it was very. It was very disorganized. It still is because it's still going on, but very disorganized and kind of just chaotic.
The teams that qualified on Friday can play in the Saturday qualifier. In what world does that make any sense?
No sense at all.
So then Royal 2 and I are just playing against people who already qualified. And by the way, there are other teams who aren't matching them. So you're like, okay. Yeah. Like, great. This is,
Now.
It is what it is, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I think.
I feel bad because it's not a competitive. I feel bad, but I don't, to sum this up. Because it's not an HCS related thing. So I feel bad, like, super, super complaining about it. Because, like, I don't, whatever. But on the flip side of that, I also know the person who's, like, running it, right? You've been around a long time. It's not an excuse, like, for you to not be able to function in this environment. Like, you know what you're doing. And from someone who loves Halo and wants it to succeed on all, like, if you're going to do something, do it right.
Look.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're going to do something, do it right. $25K is a lot of money to a lot of people, including me. But for some of these Halo competitors who haven't had the opportunity to play for anything, you got to run it the right way.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And I think that's fair enough.
That's what I'm more annoyed about. It's not just about me. It's just about how it's,
been dealt with. I completely agree with you. Well, it's good because you got to clarify exactly what your feelings are about it.
Yeah, and I deleted everything because I said this to you, and I'm sure some of you are here, from my stream and stuff. I deleted. I kept the initial thing up because the initial thing was solidified. Yeah. Like, that was an unprofessional thing that happened. Their replies to it were ridiculous. Of like, oh, sorry, it didn't work out. When you're talking about money, that's not acceptable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I deleted everything else because I just don't want the negativity. And, and I say that on this podcast all the time. It's just not worth it. And I even feel that way now. Like, I have no harsh feelings towards anyone running it or, anything that happened. I really don't care. Yeah. And I tell people this, it doesn't, at the end of the day, Infinite's coming out. I'm excited for Infinite. It's not going to change the way I feel, Yeah. But I just want stuff ran correctly. And I think that with Esports Engine coming on for Infinite, I think my prayers will basically be answered. But, it's just the principle of it that I think really offends me. Like, if you're going to do something here, let's do it right. And that's how I felt about the past couple of years in general.
Yeah, of course. Well, hopefully, can't make any promises, but hopefully those kind of days and those feelings are behind.
I'm confident.
With the new
I'm confident. Adam Apicello, he's got me.
Adam's amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm absolutely amazing.
Because you know what? He's been doing it a long time.
Yeah, he's wise.
And he doesn't
mess around.
No, exactly. And when you're holding tournaments for people, that's what you do.
Yeah. Talking about like principles though and stuff, I think we should go on to our last topic, which is obviously what happened with CLG recently. Obviously they put out a piece of content on their socials, and it was behind the scenes footage of, what team was it? What esport was it?
It was League of Legends.
A LOL team, maybe? LOL
correctly.
Team. Their LOL team who
I couldn't even
had
watch it. If I'm being honest, like you saw it. I glanced at it and I was like,
it's like a minute long.
Yeah.
It was a sponsored piece of content, and the sponsor was Bud Light. And
why is that even
because who wants to crack open a Bud Light watching the devastation on players' faces? I don't know.
Why is that even funnier that that's the sponsor? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love Bud Light, don't get me wrong.
Taste of summer, Bud Light.
Hey, sorry you're out of a job. Crack open a Bud Light. Drown
your sorrows.
Jesus.
Yeah, very choice.
Yeah.
Very choice content to put with a sponsored video. Obviously it was their coaching team or management team informing their roster that changes were going to be made. They hadn't been doing very well, or they're not in the place where the team wants them to be, so therefore this is the last time that squad will be together. The guys on the team look distraught, to be perfectly honest, because they're obviously not sure who it's going to be, or maybe they do actually have an idea of who it is going to be and who potential multiple are going to be. I just think it's interesting to get thoughts, and I'll give my thoughts, and then I'm curious to know what your thoughts are.
I was going to ask you your thoughts coming from more of a sports background, because I saw this post a couple times to me, because I made a post about it. And, a lot of people reference professional sports, because in professional sports, you know what like Hard Knocks is, or no?
Yeah, I've watched it.
Yeah, like you watched it with me, right? It is broadcasted. Like when you get cut, you see it, but that's not everything. I
also think there's a level of agreeance to that.
Yeah.
I think that you come on and you're being filmed. You know it's filming the process of this.
You know it's going to happen, kind of thing.
And also, not only, but with football, it's a process. Yeah. It's what happens. There is a draft. There is a period of time where that people are being drafted. It's part and parcel with that culture.
Practice squads, and
it's part and parcel
are you
going
to make the starting roster?
Part of the season in football.
Yeah.
It's not really like that for esports.
No,
it's like that was literally, hi, surprise.
Yeah, you're off the starting roster.
So it's different. It's unexpected. But not only that, I think also from my sporting background, like first of all, fair enough to football players if they want to do that, but like let's be honest, their salaries are pretty damn handsome.
Yeah.
So it like maybe they're being paid to obviously like let that part of their life be public. Fair enough.
It's just not everyone though. It's only like Hard Knocks, for example, is the only time you're really going to see stuff like that, and it's only one team.
I know as an athlete, for me, I would never agree to it.
Yeah.
I do not want somebody seeing like devastation across my face, knowing that I've just been kicked off a roster that I care about more than anything.
Yeah.
So like for me, it's really hard to watch, and from that aspect,
it's heartbreaking.
I also think the fact that it's sponsored is personally just that is not good.
Yeah.
That is really bad.
I think that was the worst part of it.
Yeah.
Because they came out with a statement saying like, we wanted to show you behind the scenes, like how this really kind of goes. And like, I think like, okay, you know what? Fair enough. You're taking a different approach. Somewhat fair enough, because I don't appreciate it or like it, but okay, you're taking a different approach. To make it like sponsor content is like, you know what I mean? Like, tell me you care less about the players without telling me you care less about the players. Like,
how would you react if you got into that meeting yourself? Like, well, just completely, it's irrelevant on who the org is right now.
Yeah.
Just nameless, a nameless org, right? Sorry, I
was going to say, is this...
Sorry, Anthony.
I was going to say.
If you were brought into a room and you're on an esports team and you saw cameras rolling and suddenly you were informed that, and then you saw it go up as sponsored content, what would your reaction as a player be?
I don't know. Like, cause like I think this is like kind of a problem. This is like what I said. Like I put out a tweet about it. You just feel kind of like useless. Like straight up. Like, you know what I mean? And like I don't know. I think you'd be mad.
I'd be furious.
Like I'd be furious, but like there's
not just feel useless. I just feel used.
Yeah, exactly. But like, and but this is kind of going back to like some of the stuff that I've dealt with Halo. With like some of the problems we ran into. It's like just feels like you're there, and you're just, it's like, okay, yeah, whatever, and it feels the same way, like in that situation of what you're saying. It's just, it kind of, that, honestly, it feels that way just being an esports player in general. Like sometimes it does, when you have an issue with the game or the developer or your org or whatever the case may be. I think it's really easy to feel that way. And like, you could be super upset, like, say you're one of those players and you're like, what the hell? Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And like, it took them like hours to take it down. And the only reason they took it down is because of fans being like,
what the hell?
Yeah, like, whoa. Like, you know what I mean?
So
that's not because
cruel.
a player.
It's cruel.
Yeah.
I think so.
So, I don't know. I just think it's like a thing in esports in general of orgs really, especially nowadays. Like orgs really haven't. I know it's a business.
I think there's nothing wrong with taking fans behind the scenes. I just don't think you don't take fans behind the scenes when one of your players is ill and he's on the loo for 5 hours, do you? He's down bad. You know what I mean? But why, like, there's no need to film the rest of your team feeling like that way. Like, that is literally their livelihood. And I think it's different if the players agree to it. But I highly doubt the players would have been like, like, oh, hey, we're having a meeting. What is the meeting about? Oh, we're all getting dropped, or some of us are getting dropped. Yeah, you want to film it and sponsor it by Bud Light? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I just don't see it would have gone like that.
It's tough. Cause it's just, I don't know. Because like there's two sides of it, and I get like the business side of it and everything. But even like, like this is where like I give like OpTic, like OpTic and Sen, for example, two of the best orgs. Period. Right. Mm-hmm. that I've been on, and just by the way, anyone would tell you the same. But it's like they just have a respect for their players. Where like I know for a fact that like if we lost like a tournament, and I told Hitch like, yo, don't, like, this is going back in the day, like, yo, don't film me right now, he wouldn't film me. You know what I mean?
Well, he has a respect for you.
Yeah, exactly. Or like, with Sen, with Sean, who like we haven't gotten to work with a lot, but like I feel like I know Sean really well. Where it's like if it was ever a situation like that, they have the respect that they would never, ever, ever do that. Period. Not like dropping us, but if it was ever a situation of like, I don't want that on film, and it's personal. Yeah. No, that's not on. So I don't know. There's like a fine line to it in this regard. I think it was just really people showing they don't really care.
Just miss the mark with
it. They don't really care. And then you top it off with like your sponsored content of like, did you just not have content to put out with it? So that you toss that on, or what,
Pure devastation.
I don't know. It's tough because people reference pro sports. And how that happens, but you don't really actually see it happen all that much. That was kind of like what I was thinking. You see it on Hard Knocks, and
it's all about the draft.
Yeah.
Hard Knocks is about it.
It's not what she's saying. It's not about the draft. It's about making the team.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
it's
about making the team. It's a little bit different.
Yeah, sorry, my terminology is not on.
It's okay.
I don't.
You're new to football. It's okay.
But like it like the whole point of Hard Knocks is to document that process, and every single player is completely aware of it.
Yeah, and also, by the way, they don't show every time someone gets cut, which could very well be people being like, I don't want that conversation on camera.
Exactly.
But who knows?
I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know how the players feel at all. I haven't looked. I don't know. Honestly, I don't follow LOL.
Yeah.
At all. I've got too many things to follow. I honestly just
follow the org or any of it anymore.
I just follow the broadcasters a lot of the time. My girls on for LOL. But I would just say that like I just
look out for your players.
It's like from people looking from the outside in, it's not a good look.
Yeah, I just think I think it comes down to, from an org standpoint and a business standpoint and everything. I think you just got to look out for your players, and obviously you want to showcase stuff to your fans, which I can respect.
Yeah.
But you have to respect your players and let them feel like people. Because honestly, and like just being 100% frank and like honest on here, like, you know, when it comes, I've told you this before with the Halo stuff, I don't feel like I'm an actual person sometimes, like complaining about what I'm complaining about. I don't, you know, and I think that's the hard part of what we're doing. And like, I don't think it's like intent, like that's a different scenario. Don't get me wrong. Like that's not like, I'm not being replaced, you know, on Halo or whatever, but it's like, you know, when you just don't feel like you're treated as a person or treated with respect sometimes. And in this scenario, I mean, probably the most disrespectful thing I've seen, like, period.
I agree. Fair? Yeah, I think it's totally fair. What do you guys think at home? We want to know.
Yeah.
Because honestly, this is quite an interesting topic. It you know, there's always something going on in esports, to be honest. Always something, but we love reading what you guys think as well. And if you're on the same kind of mindset as us, and if you're not, that's absolutely fine. But we'd love to know what you think.
Join in on the convo. Don't be afraid to say if you disagree. You know, we've had people say they disagree with some of the stuff we're saying.
And it's interesting because we're like, didn't think about that.
Because even you know, like, I literally immediately was like, this is wrong, you know, and then people commented being like, this happens in pro sports all the time, and it made me think. Like, I wasn't like mad that the person like disagreed. It made me be like, 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 you know, does it though? And then like I like, you know, like, it's critical thinking. I'm like, oh, well, I don't think it actually happens all that much, you know, like, it happens on.
It's just what is, I think this will sum it up for, I think, a lot of people with this, you know, pro sport aspect. First of all, they're different.
Yeah,
it's esports, and then it's actual sports. And the second of all, the emotion and the shock of having a roster change or being dropped on the team was literally bought out.
Yeah.
So like, they got money from players' devastation reactions.
Yeah.
Which is kind of almost like, it's not blood money, but it's not nice money. You know, it's not like it's not like a winning montage that they're sponsoring. You know, it's just different.
Like, just because it's something in one place doesn't mean it needs to be that in another. And what I mean by that is, like, if you do have, and this is my opinion, if you do have that stance of like, well, they show in pro sports, you know, show that. It's like, just because it happens there doesn't necessarily mean it needs to happen here. And it's the same thing. Like, you know, I don't know if you've this is a whole separate like conversation, obviously, but it kind of ties in of people like being annoyed that professional sports salaries are shared, like, for players, but then like on esports they aren't. And it's like, you know what I mean? Like, just because it happens in one area doesn't necessarily it's different, you know. Maybe we'll get to that point where
it's a different business.
Yeah, but maybe it will happen. But the point being is, just because it does happen doesn't mean it has to, and at least not right like at that time.
Yeah, exactly.
And sponsored content. With it was
the cherry on top for me. I was like, oh god.
Yeah.
Anyway, should we rate our coffee?
Been a long podcast.
It has been a long one.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys. Thank you so much. Café Bustelo from Brazil.
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10?
Yeah, I really liked it.
I liked it. I'm gonna give mine an 8.6.
I feel like you just try to one-up me with it. Like, I say it's really good, and you say the same. And
I like it. I really liked it. It didn't give me the dry throat. It gave you the dry throat.
It did.
Oh, yes.
Not.
You admitted it. You think it was so funny.
No, I don't know. I don't know if it was from that, though. Like, I randomly needed some water, but it could have been from that. I'll give you the credit. No, I really liked it. I would have gone a little bit higher, but I feel like I'm trying to be...
You don't need to try and be anything. You gotta just try and be honest with yourself.
I am being honest, though. Like, this is a great... Like, I could drink this every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is like, an 8 is like, you could drink that every day.
Yeah, I think.
But I don't want to rank it so high, because I feel like there's going to be... Like, this is like pretty good quality.
Yeah.
There's going to be some stuff like the Disney one that we had. Or like, really, you know, or like some stuff from like the Seattle place that you're talking about, right?
Oh,
that's
my
like
God.
10 out of 10. Yeah, you know, like, so I try to like, even though I could be like, this is a 9, I drink this every day.
I think a solid 8 is good, but like, when it blows your mind.
I try to take the emotion out of it.
Okay. Just getting very philosophical over here about his coffee drinking. But yeah, so pretty damn good coffee. Pretty damn good coffee. Link will be in the description.
Don't we both want to remember at the same time? There you go. You can have it.
link will be in the description. It's actually it's
if we can
really
find
easy to store as well, guys, because obviously it's in a tin.
Beautiful
which
packaging.
is nice. Yeah, it's lovely. But I also want to ask you guys a question as well before we head off.
If you made it this far.
And that is about the real ones have. this is obviously our coffee mug that we drink out of every single time. It's branded 2xTheGrind. We've had actually a couple comments about it, I would say, in the past, and we've responded to them about like how, we don't have any of these available. We just made them for the coffee show. Do you guys want some? Is my question. We're going to be coming out soon with some Snakebite merch.
Yeah.
We're probably going to run it through obviously a website, and we'll let you know like how that's being done eventually. But we might stick a little 2xTheGrind tab on that website and have a couple of things that you guys can pick up if you want to drink along with us and sip along, or even just have it.
Would you only do mugs? I guess it's kind of a question for people of like, would you
could do like we could probably do like caps, mugs, maybe t-shirts. But let us know what you think.
See, I love selling a mug for people because I think it's cool to be able to like, if you love the podcast, being able to like have the same thing that we have. I think that's cool. Like I love that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the big dream for me with this podcast as well at some point is to like create our own blend of coffee one day.
That would be incredible.
I think that would be so sick.
That would be really cool. I would love to do that.
Me too.
Because like, I'm a big coffee drinker. Like when I play games and stuff, I think that'd be so cool to like figure one out.
Yeah. And like be
a
able to
a performance blend. And just a strictly flavor blend.
Perfect. Two
you
blends.
Know what I'm saying?
2 blends, 2 different times. Beautiful.
One that you can have in the morning. The other you have when you're ready to game.
Or perform.
Or work out.
Or perform.
Or, high performance.
High performance.
Caffeinated.
Coffee? God's sake. Anyway.
I love how you can read my mind.
I know. It's so difficult to read.
We finish each other's sentences.
Yeah. It's some call it a gift, some call it a curse. So let us know what you think, because it's something we're thinking about. Let us know if there's like merch you're like, actually do this. But I think mugs are obviously a given. But like, let us know if there's anything else you're like, hey, hold on a second, you guys are missing out on this. But we'll let you know how it goes in our endeavor on it.
Maybe like a oh man, I can't think of it now.
Oh god, off he goes.
No, maybe like
Creative
what's the thing
engine.
You travel with? What's the thing I'm thinking of? I can't think of it.
What you travel with?
Yeah, like a
suitcase?
No, come on. Like for your drink, babes.
Oh, a travel mug. I call them
is
travel
it really
mugs.
called? It's like
flask.
Flask. Okay. No, is it flask?
Like
You know what I'm talking about? Like your parents got me.
A flask.
Is that a flask?
That's what I call it.
So something like that.
You can call it a travel coffee mug or a flask.
Like something like that.
Keeps your coffee warm or cold.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Go.
So
flask.
okay. So a travel mug, whatever.
That bigger one.
Yeah, I was thinking that is probably a pretty good one too.
That's good. And maybe even some coasters.
Because I don't know, coasters would be cool.
Yeah, we.
That way they can keep their mug.
You probably guys have never even noticed this, but our coasters are branded as well.
Yeah.
So.
Because then they can keep their mug, but still have a little bit of us.
Why wouldn't you want our face on everything?
I sound like a salesman.
Could you imagine someone walking around with a cap, a t-shirt, and a mug and a flask of all of our face?
I'd do it. No, I'm just joking.
People will be walking past going, God, they love those guys.
Yeah. Nah, for real though, let us know. We're going to be working on some merch for me. Yeah. Heading into
I've
Infinite.
Been doing the designs.
LVP's been cooking up the designs usual. And just because people have asked us, really people have kind of like asked us about if we'll ever do it.
Yeah.
Now that we're kind of getting in the process of finding companies to do it, we can do both. So let us know what you're thinking. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah. We love you guys.
Yeah, we do. Very much so. And the last kind of thing, we're going to be stepping up our game, aren't we?
What?
More clips, social media posts.
Yeah, we are. We're going to get our editor, PJ's YouTube editor, Ayo Edits. He is going to be running a lot of the clips on our social media channels. It's been pretty difficult for us recently. Obviously, we've been taking on a lot of projects, personally, business-wise.
2 dogs,
everything,
a house,
just a lot. But we want to make sure that you guys feel like we're interacting with you a lot more on our social medias like Twitter and Instagram. So we're gonna get a bunch of clips churned out so I can tweet them out, you can tweet them out, we can talk to you guys.
The reason why I said that too is just because if you don't already, maybe you follow us on YouTube, make sure you go follow us on Twitter or Instagram and stuff like that, because since we're going to be upping our game for you, there's weeks, look, I'm guilty of it. It's okay. You're not going to break my heart or Lot's heart. We know you might not be able to tune in. It's okay.
Yeah.
So, but the purpose of doing that is so that you guys can stay up to date with the topics and you have clips that you can listen to and stuff like that. So, yeah, just wanted to throw it out there. But that's it for me.
Beautiful stuff. All the links in the description for anything that you probably or possibly want to know about what we're doing, coffees, whatever it is, what we're using, all sorts of stuff. So yeah, let us know. We're really looking forward to reading your comments. We love you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday and the rest of the week, depending on what day you're tuning in on. All right. Well, anyway, as always, stay on the grind.